So, welcome team. Let's come together for building the meaningful software. We have started with requirement analysis. We have understood how we can capture requirements, how we can prioritize them, and we have also understood why we should represent requirements in terms of different models. A textual based representation is not going to help my team to better implement those. So, to gain the all details or all aspects of what the system should be, we are going to build the models. So, we are going to start with the first set of models, that is use case diagram. UML stands for Unified Modeling Language. We will go to its detail very soon. Now, to start with, I would say a use case captures a contract that describes the system's behavior under various conditions as the system responds to a request from one of its stakeholders. So, in simple terms, I would say use cases simply are an aid to defining what exists outside the system, that is an actor, and what should be performed by the system, and that is a use case. So two roles are important here, an actor and a use case. So in essence, a use case tells a stylized story about how an end user, that is an actor, interacts with the system under a specific set of circumstances that we are going to represent in use case. So how we can write the use cases? It may be a narrative text. I can just go to customer and narrate. The customer is narrating me, and I can keep on writing what they are expecting from the system. I can prepare an outline of tasks or interactions. We can also have a template based description of what a customer wants, and we can represent them diagrammatically. We are going to take a tour towards all of these ways of writing a use case. So first of all, I will begin with narrative text. So this is the meeting which I have conducted with my customer, and this is what the description I have got from the customer. So this is about Safe Home Security System. We have already introduced the system, and now, so this is the use case which talks about access camera surveillance via the internet display camera views. So in short, it is represented as ACSDC. Here actor is homeowner. So what homeowner is expecting with this set of things? So the customer narrates it this way: if I am at a remote location, I can use any PC with appropriate browser software to log on to Safe Home product website. I enter my user ID and two levels of passwords, and once I am validated, I have access to all functionality for my installed Safe Home system. To access a specific camera view, I select surveillance from the measure function button, which is displayed. I then select pick a camera, and then the floor plan of the house is displayed. I then select the camera that I am interested in. Alternatively, I can look at thumbnail snapshots from all cameras simultaneously by selecting all cameras as my viewing choice. And this is how customer keeps on telling me about what he is expecting from the system in this narrative format. The second set of use case ways we can prepare is an outline of tasks or interactions. So the actor is same, that is homeowner. So he is going to interact with the home security function in a number of different ways using either the alarm control panel or a PC. So how they are going to interact: enter passwords to allow other interactions, inquires about status of security zone, inquires about status of a sensor, presses the panic button in case of emergency, activates or deactivates the system. So these are interactions which is taking place between the actor and the system. The second way, the third way is a template based description. Now what is a template? A present format for a document or file. So here I would like to give you an example. So we ask for resumes updated by you. We have certain template for that created. So we want your name, your educational qualifications, the courses which you have done. So that is the template which is there, common to all, and everybody is going to update it that way. So this is how we can create a use case based on some desired template. So in the template, what is important is these fields you should understand. So what is a use case? Initial monitoring. Who is the primary actor? Homeowner. Goal in context: to set the system to monitor sensors when the homeowner leaves the house or remains inside. What are the preconditions to be met? System has been programmed for a password and to recognize various sensors. What is the trigger? The homeowner decides to set the system, that is to turn on the alarm functions. Now what are the scenarios? Homeowner observes control panel, enters password, selects stay or away option, observes read alarm light to indicate the same home has been armed properly. Now what are the exceptions? Control panel is not ready, how the system should respond. Password is incorrect, how the system should respond. Password not recognized, how it should work. Stay is selected, away is selected. So these are exceptions and how we are going to handle them. Now priority, when it will be available. So here see, it will be available in first increment. Can you see that? So we had decided for safe home system we are going to choose the incremental model. Can you see the impact? Yes. Now frequency of use of that particular use case: many times a day. Channel to actor is via control panel interface. Secondary actor is support technician or sensors, and channels to secondary actors are support technician and sensors. Now the system has got some open issues. Should there be a way to activate the system without the use of password or with an abbreviated password? Should the control panel display additional text messages? How much time does the homeowner have to enter the password from the time first key is pressed? Is there a way to deactivate the system before it actually activates? This is what going to give you clear insight into how you want your system to be. Or at the end we can have a diagrammatic representation. So this is how really use case diagrams are drawn. I would just introduce it here. Don't worry about the symbols, we are going to talk about them very soon. So the system is safe home, these are the use cases, this is the actor, this is one of the another actor. So this is how we are representing it. We are going to again see these diagrams in detail. And now we are heading towards the next. Now, if these are so interesting, what is the origin behind it? So in 1996, Eva Jacobson first formulated textual and visual modeling technique for specifying use cases. In 1992, his co-authored book, Object-Oriented Software Engineering, a use case-driven approach, helped to popularize the technique for capturing functional requirements, especially in software development. So what is the purpose of use case diagram? Use cases are developed by analysts together with domain expert, and they are developed in the early stage of development, and people often apply use case modeling for the following purposes. The first is specify the context of a system. The second is capturing the requirements of a system. We can validate system architecture with the requirements, and we can drive implementation and generate test cases. All these terms we are going to introduce. Testing part you already know, we will understand what are test cases later, but you have to understand this is the purpose of creating use case diagrams. Now we have to start writing the use cases. What we should do? So the first thing which we should do is identifying stakeholders. Who is going to operate the system? Who is going to help me operating the system? This helps me identifying stakeholders. Second is defining the scope of problem. The third is specifying operational goals. Our goal is to say, set my home secure with the help of this alarm facility. So we are specifying the operational goals. The next is establishing priorities. The next is outline all functional requirements, and then we are describing the things that will be manipulated by the system. So once you are ready with all of the things, you can start drawing the use case diagrams. Now to draw it, we need to have notations. So now we will go into details of the notation. So this is the actor. So generally it is the noun which we select from the narrative which we have written. Then we have got this communication link or connecting link. Then we have got the use cases and system boundary to write the use case, pictorially represent the use case diagram. With all these notations, we are going to head towards seeing the sample use case diagram. So as you can see, we have got this actor, associations by the actor. So actor here is a cellular phone. So it is responsible for handling messages and calls, and the external phone company is assisting the cellular phone in handling and messages and calls. So customer is there to manage the bill, and this is what is called as use case. As you can see, this is the system boundary, so I can write the system name here. Okay, associations are connecting links between actor and a use case. I hope now you have got the clear idea about how we can write the use cases. Now, as we said, we have to identify stakeholders, we have to work with the actors. Now, what are the ways by which we can actually find out actors? You have to list out the questions. Once you answer them, you have set of actors ready with you. Who uses the system? Who installs the system? Who starts up the system? Who is going to maintain it? Who is going to shut it down? What other systems are going to use your system? Who gets information from the system? Who is providing information to your system? Does anything happen automatically at a present time? Once we answer all of these questions, we are ready with set of actors. Now our next job is to identify use cases. Now identifying the use cases and then the scenario based elicitation process carries on by asking what externally visible observable value that each actor desires. So if you remember, in interactions we had seen, homeowner wants to enter password, homeowner wants to set the system, set that alarm, activate that alarm. So this is the observable value that each actor desires, so that we have to find out. So we can again ask set of questions and it will be helpful for us to identify use cases. What functions will the actor want from the system? What preconditions should exist before the story begins? What exceptions may be considered as the story is described? If you remember the template, we had written exceptions there. Does the system store some information? What actors will create, read, update, or delete this information? So he is going to maintain the record of the information. That would be an actor. Does the system need to notify an actor about changes in the internal state? Are there any external events the system must know about? What actor informs the system of those events? So, this is how it can help in identifying use cases by answering all of these questions. So, to summarize, I would say use cases are defined from actors' point of view. An actor is a role that people or users or devices play as they interact with the system. You remember actor homeowner, you remember actor cell phone company, you remember actor cell phone owner or user or customer. So these were all the actors. While a use case itself might drill into a lot of detail about every possibility, a use case diagram is often used for a higher level view of the system as blueprints. If you have noticed, we had written a long amount of text in narrative, in scenario, in the template based formatting, but the actual use case represented was a very higher level view of the system. It is beneficial to write use cases at a coarser level of granularity with less details when it's not required. Now we will again see one example of the use case so that you understand it and revise the concepts. So if you can remember, we had said that we want the system boundary to be there, and this is the name of the system. So I understand immediately when I look at it that it is about banking system. So the two actors which we have identified are customer and bank employee. Now these are the use cases: opening account, deposit funds, withdraw funds. Now here one more thing I would like to introduce. So these are two extensions which are there: extend and include. So the connecting links which are already known to you. So now these relationships, that is extend and include, I would like to explain. Now when I say customer deposit funds, so it is extended to calculate bonus use case. So these two are the tasks, and once the funds is deposited, then we can extend it to calculating bonus based on the amount. Can you see that? Or the age. So if at all this condition is met, we can extend it to calculate the bonus. Now the other is include relationship. So when I say I am depositing the funds, what is mandatory action that comes in picture is updating the balance. When I withdraw funds, what comes mandatory action as updating the balance. So this is the task which I have to do, which comes after withdraw funds or deposit funds. So it by default includes these two things. With practice you are going to learn all these details. Don't worry, we are going to start drawing the use case diagrams very soon. So these are the references, and see you in the next interesting class where we are going to actually prepare use cases by using some tool. Thank you. See you in the next session.